This is Jonathan Adler for the U.S. Nationalist Report. I'm now in the government zone of the Los Angeles City. I'm taking a look around this government facility. It's a federal government. You guys work here? You work for the government? Ni hao ma? Okay. So I'm going to take a look around. It says California Department of Transportation. How you doing, sir? Ni hao ma? Okay, so you know it's Chinese, but not English. Probably living off our tax money. So that's more jobs that should be going to U.S. citizens. Okay, so we'll take a look at what they're doing here. I'm sure it costs multi-millions of dollars. This building must have cost at least $200 or $300 million. This is called the Broad Plaza, and it says Department of Transportation. And they have the flags at half staff. Why are the flags at half staff, guys? Why do you have the flags at half staff? Why do you have the flags at half staff? U.S. report.
The security does it. I don't know.
Okay. All right. You guys work here? I'm with the U.S. report. I'm a reporter. What's the purpose of this department? Yeah. Yeah. What's up? I'm a reporter.
State building.
State building? I thought
No, it's state.
state. And what do you guys do here?
They fix highways.
Fix the highways? Okay, that's good work. And what are you, an engineer? You look like an engineer. Engineer, sir?
Yeah, he's a top engineer.
Where are you from?
Where I'm from?
Yeah.
That's part of the news?
Yeah.
Oh, really? What
Yeah.
news is that?
U.S. report.
Let me see your
I'm a
card.
reporter.
Let me see ID.
I can tell you my YouTube channel.
No, let me see
I don't
your
need ID. First Amendment.
Then no, I'll
Yeah, First Amendment doesn't say.
too.
Huh?
Tell 'em.
Yeah, you know what the First Amendment is?
I'm not going to tell you.
Do you know what it is?
I'll use it for the first.
I'm press. I don't need a credential from an
I'll
outside
use it for
party.
the Fifth Amendment.
Okay, that's fine. When people ask you that, any citizen, U.S. citizen, as long as you're gathering news and publishing it so the public can see it, that's considered press, and you don't need a special arbitrary third party. The credential that we need, we already have since we're born here. That's called the First Amendment. So, might try talking to some of these other guys here. Hey, what's this building here, guys? U.S. report. I'm a reporter. What do you guys do here? I represent Taxpayer Group. Do you work here, sir? Do you work here? No? Okay. Claim they don't work here, but they're going back in the building. All right. Do you work here, sir? Any comment? Okay, so people don't want to talk, I guess. They don't like reporters. Maybe they shouldn't be in the United States if they don't like reporters. But yeah, the credential that gives me the right to talk to people in public is called the First Amendment. It's also petitioning our government for a redress of our grievances. That's our supreme law. So if they don't understand that, I don't think they're really qualified to be working for the government, like the one foreign guy. So this apparently is not federal. I thought maybe it's federal. It's a huge building. Apparently this is the California Department of Transportation. So try interviewing some more workers. Interesting though that all the workers were non-white. Like I said, that's not intrinsically bad, but if they're discriminating against whites and blacks, which they are on most jobs here, in favor of Latinos and Asians, then that is very bad, which is what they're doing. I didn't see one black worker there and no white workers. So that does fit the globalist agenda to bring in an Asian invasion and start a race war. That's kind of their idea, their goal. So that's why they're hiring people based on race and not how good you are at the job. You got some guys with the ID tags and they're all Asian. Interesting. Everybody's Asian. And we got the government and they have accents. Very interesting. Say also very disturbing. Hey, you guys work here in the transportation? City Hall? Have a nice day. So I guess they don't want to talk to me, but they have ID tags. See, this is what happens, guys, when there's not real reporting. We have all kinds of dangerous things going on in the government that needs to be audited. We need more citizen groups auditing the government. As you can see, it looks like it is being infiltrated. It's mostly foreigners that don't agree with American values. Hey, you guys know where Starbucks is? Starbucks? Oh, okay, I didn't see it. Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I was just testing to see where they're from. That one guy sounded American, but I think his parents were fine. And it is an issue that we have the anchor babies. We need a law against the anchor babies. Now we have a lot of Chinese coming in and they buy these big mansions and they bring in these pregnant Chinese women, like put 20 of them in a mansion in San Marino. And unfortunately, because of the loopholes here, they all get to be citizens. And of course, many of them can be spies, hostile to the United States. This is what we call a internal way to destroy the United States. Hey, you work for City Hall? Huh? What do you do over there, man? I'm a reporter. Can you do an interview? Okay, enjoy the tax money. It's unlimited. Unlimited for wonderful people. So interesting. Another lady, I'm doing kind of random check here. She said she does work at City Hall and Asian. And this city is close to 50% Latino, but definitely not 50% Asian. I think it's like 20%. And I haven't seen one white worker here and no blacks. So it does de facto look like de facto discrimination. They're favoring the Asians and the Latinos over whites and blacks, which is not okay. It's discrimination. It's against our laws. It's also helping the globalist agenda to bring in a Chinese takeover. Where are you guys from? U.S. Report. Where are you guys visiting from? Doing tourist video. So they don't want to talk. Hey, is that City Hall over there? City Hall? You work at City Hall, sir? Where you work at? Is this one? You guys work together? Okay. Thanks, man. Hey, you work for the government? U.S. support. Do you work for the government? No? Okay. So I'm mainly here to talk to government workers because we pay them. If they're private, I'm not really looking into that right now. I was looking into the construction people, though, because they cheat a lot of Americans out of jobs. I am looking into that here. I'm also looking into accountability to find out if these people are competent and if there's a lot of discrimination and if their jobs are even necessary. There's a lot of waste, as we know, in our government. Standing in here facing City Hall and this very large building that must have cost a fortune called the California Department of Transportation. This is at Los Angeles and First Street. Hey, are they hiring here? You work for the City Hall?
For what?
U.S. report. You work for City Hall?
No.
For the government? Which department? Okay, so that's interesting. Another guy with the name tags. All the people I see with the government tags are mostly Asian, are all Asian actually, and Latino. I've not seen one white or black person with a government tag yet. This is the second biggest city in the United States. Very interesting. So this does support my belief that the globalists are inserting large numbers of mostly Chinese, then maybe Koreans that could also be loyal to China in our government for a future takeover. We're definitely trying to break California off the rest of the United States. We don't want that. China wants the food supply here. It's a major food source here. But yeah, that's sad when I ask questions as a tax-paying citizen. The answer I get from some of these people is, what are my credentials? Well, my credential is the First Amendment. Millions of Americans fought in wars to protect our rights as a sovereign nation, which includes our Bill of Rights. So my credential is called the First Amendment. Here, it's interesting. We've got a LAPD, appears to be Asian. We see a lot more of the Asian LAPD. Ni hao ma? Let's see if he'd react, if he's Chinese. Like I said, it might sound like a conspiracy theory, but I have found that we are being infiltrated in our security services and the U.S. Navy. If you've seen my other reports on my other channel called the California Info Warrior Report, I have documented that we have naval officers that are born in China. I met one naval officer that was born in Chengdu, China, and she's a naval commander. So to me, that's a major security threat. We should not be having anybody, period, really, born in a hostile country serving in our military. That's a major security threat. And I found out Chengdu is the location of a large factory where they build fighter aircraft for Chinese aircraft carriers. So it's very possible this naval commander could be a spy and giving information to Communist China. Hey, sir, you work at City Hall here? U.S. report? You City Hall worker?
Me?
Yeah, I'm doing a report on City Hall. No?
LAPD.
Work for the government? Department of Transportation? Department of Transportation?
No, LAPD.
LAPD? What do you do for them?
IT department.
You're IT guy? Okay, good. Have a nice day. Okay, so see what I mean, guys? Very interesting. I'm just talking to random people walking by. I could barely understand that guy's accent. but he was cooperative and admitted he works for the LAPD, that's her tax money, doing information technology. And his accent was so thick I could barely understand him. Obviously, well, it sounds Indian, but actually an accent like that could also be even Bangladesh. A lot of patriots don't know Bangladesh has similar kinds of people, similar accent, and it's 90% Muslim. So this is something we want to be looking into because, as we know, part of the globalist agenda is to infiltrate hostile people in the United States to break it up. So it's very possible he could be a Muslim from Bangladesh. Now, also India also has a large Muslim population. So the point is, immigration is not bad, but we should be admitting the best people that fit into our culture, not people that are the opposite of our culture and going to create conflict, which is what the globalists have been doing, especially after 8 years of Obama. So I'm concerned that just picking a random guy out, walking out of one of these government buildings, he's obviously a born foreigner from India. Now, India is more of a friendly country, but he should not be getting a job over a more qualified U.S. citizen. And it's a security-oriented government agency, LAPD, deals with terrorism. And personally, I think it should only be born U.S. citizens working there. We have enough Americans born here that need jobs that they could work for the LAPD. But unfortunately, as I've noted, the globalists that have taken over a lot of our government, it's called the deep state, the criminal network controlling the government, intentionally hires people that are hostile to Americans. And his English skills were not very good. He did answer a few questions, but definitely not friendly. So I'll try talking to a few more people. But more cooperative than the other guy that sounded like Arabic. The guy that started asking me for credentials sounded like Arabic guy. So obviously he would be hostile. It's the kind of people we don't want in the government that don't respect our First Amendment. And then if they're Arabic Muslim, then that's obviously going to be a big security threat. People like that are known to plant bombs in highways, all kind of stuff. Okay, so as you can see, this is like another government worker. This one looks like she's Hispanic. I haven't seen one white or black one yet. It's kind of interesting. So I'm against affirmative action. That's another big problem. I had to grow up with that. It's not fair to like a white working person that non-white gets hired because of affirmative action. Maybe they should get money, but not a job over somebody more qualified. Hey, you guys know where Starbucks is? Ni hao ma? So I try talking to a few more people. It's interesting. This guy here on the skateboard had a T-shirt that says "I love China." It's pretty funny. I don't think he'd love it so much if he was living there and he got framed for a crime because they execute over 3,000 people a year, a lot of whom are innocent, like the Falun Gong religion people. And then they use their organs for organ harvesting and sell them to rich people. So I don't think would like China for that, but maybe he would. Maybe that guy helps harvest the organs. Do a lot of sketchy, weird people here involved in criminal activities. So maybe that's why he likes China. But yeah, I don't like China. A lot of Chinese people are nice people, but no, I don't like the Chinese government. It's totalitarian, very corrupt. They want to take over the United States. They're hostile. So a lot of Chinese people, I'm sure, are fine people, but we need to definitely heavily restrict them coming in the United States. Because I have been told that I have been told, just checking this bum out, sometimes they'll steal stuff. I've had people steal my stuff. Yeah, I've been told that when Chinese come over here, even though they can be a really nice person, since they have relatives in China, I have been told by some Chinese that the government will ask Chinese to spy here, and if they don't agree to do spying, they'll threaten their family in China. So even if somebody's a nice person, the fact that they're from China and they're here, if they're allowed to work for sensitive government agencies or big companies at the expense of Americans, they're a big security threat because all the Chinese government has to do is threaten their family, and they can force these people to spy for them. So we want to be aware that these people are a very big security threat. South Korea is a lot less of a security threat, but like I said, they shouldn't be getting a job over better qualified or equally qualified U.S. citizens. If it's an Asian person born here and then they're most qualified and they've sworn an allegiance to the United States, then they should get the job. It should have nothing to do with the race. But unfortunately, the globalists are favoring non-whites over whites, so they can tip the population balance to over 50% non-white, so they can get a successful race war started to destroy our middle working class white population. That's my conclusion based on all the evidence I've been studying. So we need to be aware of that and get the white population back up to over like around 80% at least to keep the country and society stable. Like I said, no country would put up with that. Like Nigeria is an African country. If 50 million Europeans moved there and demanded to be citizens, they'd be justified in kicking them out. You can't just totally destroy the demographics and culture of a country and think you can be justified doing that. This guy looks kind of like a Caucasian American, so it's pretty rare though. I have noticed when you see guys like that, they're usually gay. That's another thing people don't understand as part of the agenda is to penalize straight white men because they want to depopulate. So especially here in California, they favor gay over straight because they want the non-breeders because they don't want whites to breed anymore, so they can kill us off for their brown slaves. But even the brown people don't understand that once they bring them in, they want to kill them off too with the bioweapons because their main slave group is going to be the robots. So once they get enough robots ready, they're going to get rid of most people. So that looks like another government worker. Maybe he's got his tag under his suit. And as you can see, Asian. It's very interesting. So I'm going to walk around some more. I'm going to try heading over to City Hall, see what's going on there. So I'm going to study the composition here of the workers. Approaching half an hour of coverage time. I might give this another half hour. Maybe do a little protest against the illegals getting all the benefits and jobs here. I'll try going over this way. As you can see, another one of our homeless people. And when I talked to them, none of them have said the city's given them any help. Dude, like, can you go? Go ahead. I'm asking you to go. See, these people don't know how to cross the street. They always like block your way at the intersections. A lot of really rude people. We get crazy people. They tend to congregate at the intersections and cause accidents. Very rude. Um, I'm going to try heading over to City Hall here, find out what's going on. Maybe put my sign up that says jobs for Americans, not illegals. We have all the flags that have staff. Not sure what that's about. Hey, why are all the flags at half staff? Why do they have the flag at half staff? You work for LAPD?
Yes.
Yeah, U.S. report. Like, I'm doing a report on the LAPD. You got time for a question, sir? Thanks for your time. So as you can see, that guy was Latino. Interesting. Yeah, they're not hiring white people, but that fits the globalist agenda. It says City Hall South. Yeah, a lot of these guys seem to think you have a special shiny pass from some arbitrary journalist group that makes you press, but you don't need that to be press. You just need to be a citizen of the United States, gathering and publishing news, information, and that makes you press. And that gives us the right to hold our government employees accountable, report on their conduct and what they're doing with all our tax money. It costs us more money than anything else, so we need to know what's going on. Here we got a huge LAPD building. It's probably a $300 million building. I'm sure we didn't really need it. And I'm sure it was built with illegal alien workers, like most of the buildings here. Costs thousands of Americans jobs. So maybe I'll put up my sign here, try talking to some more of our well-paid employees. As you can see, we have quite a few homeless people here, sleeping here in the park. Well, it's not looking good, guys, with a lot of these people. They're just pretty clueless about what's going on. Be easy pickings for China. As you can see here, some more homeless people looking at any help. Met a highly disabled lady a few days ago. I was helping out with some money and coffee, and the city was offering zero help. And you can see we have all these homeless people. And the government doesn't even offer them some free punch, free juice. But they always have money to hire the illegal aliens. Billions of dollars for that, guys. This is part of the agenda to destroy the United States. Unfortunately, people need to be aware of this. That they intentionally cheat Americans out of jobs and business opportunities in favor of the illegal aliens. Let's see what the sign says here. Okay, I do agree with no blocking doorways. A lot of bums do that. And criminals block people's way. I agree with that. Don't block people. So it doesn't say no protesting yet, so maybe there's hope. And this is the landmark for the city hall here. Okay, here we have the propaganda, gender baiting propaganda. The globalists are very big on pushing race baiting and gender baiting. So here we have the male bashing, implying that men are bad and beat up women all over the place, but most men don't do that. That's part of the gender baiting propaganda, to divide and conquer the mass. No mention of slave labor in China or thousands of Americans being cheated out of jobs. Sad, guys. Sad situation here. Here's one of our, looks like another one of our foreign streamer people. Always wearing the plaid shirts. Well, that's job requirement. And as you can see, we have all these tents here. The city is very generous in allowing the American peasantry, that they call us, to have a small area here to set up some tents. As long as they don't interfere with the Chinese bosses buying up all the real estate. Like this LA Times building. This used to be the LA Times here, but the LA Times was bought up by a Chinese billionaire. So they moved to El Segundo, which is in Los Angeles. And they weren't to read the LA Times, so they couldn't afford the rent anymore downtown. So now that building is virtually empty. Like many of the buildings here, it's just sitting there empty. But the city's claiming they need $1 billion to help homeless people to build more buildings, but they already have thousands of empty buildings. That's a scam to give more money to crooked contractors employing illegal aliens and not American citizens. Okay, so, huh?
No,
I'm a reporter. Which department you work for? Which government department? Yeah. Department of Transportation?
No.
Which
I'm
department?
looking for a Department of House Service.
Department of Housing?
House Service.
What's your job there?
Just accountant.
Excuse me?
Accountant.
You're accountant? What does Department of Housing do? You're not going to tell me? It's our tax money. Why are you spending our tax money? Where are you from? Ni hao ma? Okay, that's very interesting, guys. I was at the house money. Those illegal aliens. How you doing, sir? How you doing? You got time for interview? I'm with the group helping homeless interview. I don't need your name. I just want to get your opinion. All right. It's nothing bad. I'm homeless myself. I'm trying to help other Americans. I've been investigating. You're from?
Yep.
All right. I've been investigating. I've been trying to get construction work here for over a year, and nobody will hire me. But every site hires the illegal aliens, and they require Spanish speaking. What's your opinion on that, sir?
Well, I've been turned down by quite a few jobs because I'm not bilingual.
Okay.
I have a degree in culinary arts. I can't get a job as a cook at a local diner around here because
Okay. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Definitely doing that here.
I've spent 20 years in the restaurant business. And, and then I get turned down around here for tattoos, whatever.
Yeah.
But I see people with
You're a
tattoos on
tattoo
there.
artist?
No, just because I have tattoos.
Oh, because you have tattoos.
Um,
Well, yeah, but
but
most
I've
guys I see
seen-
here got tattoos.
I see
Oh, an
the
excuse.
tattoos on their
Yeah, but it's
faces,
an excuse because most people Spanish.
that are working there, but I can't because I have tattoos on my hands.
Yeah, but I think they're using that for an excuse. It's really because you don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Because I'm, 100% American and I don't speak Spanish well, and nobody give me a job. I'm a professional photographer. I'm also a reporter now. I started my own reporting channel, and because I see all the corruption here, so I know Americans we have to start getting organized to make sure Americans come first.
Well, that's true. I agree with that. But here, my wife, well, I come from the Midwest, man, and it's a different story up there. It's not what you are; it's what you know how to do jobs here, because people think she is,
Yeah.
and she's not. She's actually Native American,
Uh-huh.
and it's funny. I
Yeah.
find it humorous. She finds
Yeah.
it annoying.
A lot of Native Americans can't get work because they don't speak Spanish.
No,
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's
And what's your main career? You're like you work at restaurants or
I'm a
construction?
I'm a cook. I have spent the last 13 world of Harry Potter at
Uh-huh.
Universal Studios. Your position on bilingual people are already filled and have been
That's terrible.
for some time.
It's really bad.
I
I think it's going to be next Chinese.
eh,
Then the Latinos will be angry because they don't speak Chinese.
I tell my wife all the time. Around here, we're the minority.
Yeah.
It's a different story out here.
And the illegals get a lot of benefits.
Yeah, I can't even get cash.
Can you get general relief?
No, I cannot.
How come you can't get that?
Because my wife, my kids are on 8, and we got 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason why we moved here.
Well, she lives here too?
Yes.
Are you homeless or you got a place to live?
My wife and my kids have an apartment. I have a big mouth, and I can't be there right
Yeah,
now.
well, that's cool. You're a
So-
man, so you can be on the street. You can't let the kids and the woman on the street.
But
I'm living on the street. So.
about the only job I found around here, I'm an overnight groundskeeper for the city, and basically I mow lawns at graveyards.
Oh, okay,
You
so you get some
know.
temporary work?
Yeah, and that's how.
All right, that's good.
That's about all I can find is manual labor.
So you plan to stay here or are you going to leave?
Oh,
Go back to Minnesota. Go back to Minnesota?
Yeah, we're going back as soon as my boy gets done with all of his treatments and everything. So,
Thanks for your time, sir.
no problem, Nick.
If you want to check out the video, my channel is called the U.S. Nationalist Report. It's pro-nationalist, anti-globalist. You're also welcome to join my Facebook group. It's called Info Warriors California.
I would, but I don't do Facebook. I
you
don't do
don't?
social media.
All right.
Nope.
Okay, you ever heard Alex Jones?
Uh-uh.
He's like a big patriot, libertarian. Like I follow him a lot. But thanks for your time, sir. Holidays.
You too.
Good luck to you. So I was a nice guy there, and he verified that they are discriminating against people for not speaking Spanish. And obviously, they also want the illegals because they get cash. But obviously, they're not going to admit that. It's a big problem here. And we got this guy. It's kind of like, I don't know, I may have missed that, guys, but I just want to talk to one of our disrespectful public servants. U.S. report. Do you work for the City Hall, ma'am? You work for City Hall?
No,
LAPD?
no.
What department? Okay, yeah, make sure you get your boss. Enjoy the tax money. It's unlimited. So they love the tax money. They just print more money. They don't have to actually do anything useful for the citizens. So I think we need better people working in the government here, folks. See if I can catch more of our entitled servants, not officials. But I don't know if that was on camera, unfortunately. But I just talked to this homeless guy from El Salvador. So, like I've said in other reports, we're going to be forced to pay for these people. They need to be deported, especially an old guy that's homeless. It's an illegal alien. They're going to get sick, have accidents, commit crime, and that's what's going to bankrupt our people here. We got to stop that. We don't want to be waiting until they have to go to the hospital and cost $100,000 or murder somebody because they didn't like the way they talk to them. So we got to start cracking down, folks, that situation. But it was interesting when I talked to that lady at the bus stop. She could barely speak English. She admitted she worked for the house, some type of housing office funded by our tax money. And I found out there's a housing office that's basically, it looks like that they are paying to house the illegals, especially from China, while we have record number of American homeless here. It's a very bad situation. And here we have the city hall here. This is Jonathan Adler for the U.S. Nationalist Report. I'm here in front of City Hall, Los Angeles, talking to regular citizens and our government public servants to find out what's going on with society here, in our society, its measures. So I might wait out here a while longer. But as you can see, when I talk to these people, and, there's a lot of corruption, sobs, not based on merit. Very, very troublesome. They have a big fence here. They don't want wall. They have a wall around their cushy jobs, living off our tax money. And this guy, let's see where this guy's from. We get some police here that probably have to speak Spanish. They don't want a police from America anymore. They're always helping the foreign people. There's one of our government people. So this guy actually looks white. Oh, he's hiding his tag. U.S. report. Can you do it? Which department you work for? First Amendment. What that is? The tax money. Expect loss. We can find better people every day. This guy, you a lawyer? Look like a lawyer. Friendly. I'm enjoying the government accountability podcasting, but young nice guys on jobs here. They got hire a few of the young guys to coach for appearances. As you can see, pay for with our tax money. Maybe I'll visit the Columbus statue again, find out what big deal about tearing down. Too many people coming out here. Get a feel for very steep. This one looks, definitely. You work for the city of Los Angeles? Why do they tear down the Columbus statue? Why do they tear down our statue? Enjoy the tax money. So as you can see, that lady looked like some type of, I think Asian. So we got a huge number of Asian and Latino, and I've only seen one white employee so far. Interesting. The city's like 25% white. So that does support my hypothesis that they're pushing out white Americans and blacks in favor of the Asian and Latino farmers. Here you get a disabled person, probably not getting the help he needs. So these people don't respect taxpayers. They don't want to talk to us. They definitely like the money. Easy money working for the government. Don't have to be productive. Let's deal with this guy. Unfortunately, I feel bad for disabled people, but if they're here illegally, they need to leave because we can't pay for all the poor disabled people in the world. We have over 1 million Americans that are homeless and disabled, living on the street. They come first. So we have to draw the line somewhere, people. We need to start cracking down on this nonsense. It's gotten way out of hand. Fortunately, we have a lot of psychopaths working in the government. None of this matters to them, as long as they get their easy money every week or month or whatever, however often they pay. Here's another one. See what kind of people we got working here. But as you can see, no respect for the citizens. We will need to start getting much better politicians in office that respect we the people and are actually out to be public servants and not just doing these jobs for an easy paycheck. It's not what this type of work is about. It's about public service and representing the interests of we the people and defending our constitutional American values. So as you can see, this is me in front of City Hall. My name is Jonathan Adler for the U.S. Nationalist Report and the California InfoWarrior Report. I was born in Washington, D.C., named after the founder of our country, George Washington, a great president and general that was victorious over the evil British armies. So maybe I'll stand around here, gauge what's going on here in this building. Apparently they don't want taxpayers going into the building. They have it blocked off with fences, but they don't want fences on the border. And Los Angeles is a sanctuary for child rapists, murderers, drug dealers, as long as they're here illegally. That's what a sanctuary city is. Hey, sir, you know where Starbucks is? Can you tell me where the Starbucks is? Hablo español? Enjoy your visit, temporary visit. So as you can see, it's a sanctuary for freeloaders. U.S. report, you work for City Hall, ma'am? What do you think about them tearing down a Christopher Columbus statue? What's your job? Why are you disrespecting your boss? Ni hao ma? Okay. So they don't like the boss. Maybe we need new employees. Very disrespectful. Okay, so I'll try talking to a few more people. As you can see, there was another Asian lady. Interesting that virtually all Asian workers that I've run into. Then after that would be Latino, Indian, extremely few whites that I've seen. Very interesting. It does look like a major infiltration to take over California. I mean, I would not be surprised if the globalists basically just sold this state to China. That's what it looks like. I don't think we can just let that go on, because then they would use this as a staging base to take over the United States. They could bring in millions of troops and base them here in California to take over the rest of the United States. We need to put a stop to this. This is another guy, looks like an illegal. We don't want our tax money paying for these guys. It's gotten way out of hand. I don't know what this guy's doing here. This guy here. So he got nice clothes, better than me. Maybe the Ford Foundation paid for it. They love Muslim terrorists. There's another Asian guy coming out of the building. So whites apparently not wanted here. Very interesting. Last time I checked, the United States was still about 70% white. So that's not okay to discriminate against whites either. Most of us aren't rich. We need jobs too. And you heard that guy, that homeless guy I talked to. He said that he was denied work at all the restaurants he went to just because he doesn't speak Spanish. So we also need to enforce a law that English is the official language of the United States, and there shall be no discrimination against Americans for not speaking other languages. So we got some more workers coming out. I might try talking to some more of these people. Here's the lady that would refuse to talk to me. But somehow they get these cushy jobs. It's very interesting. We got it's like, let's see what we got here. Almost all women too. That's part of the gender bidding agenda also, to favor women over men. It should be best person for the job, regardless of your gender, ethnicity. But as you know, the globalists will arbitrarily favor one gender or race over another to create conflict. That's the globalist agenda. And it looks like all these ladies, now that I'm getting a close-up, not close-up, I can see better, they're all Hispanic. So, it's not good here, guys. Probably dreamers. And as we know, they're favored over better qualified U.S. citizens. I'm really worried that anybody videos them, but it's actually part of our job as U.S. citizens to hold our government accountable. We do have major grievances with how they're conducting their job, and we call that petitioning our government for redress of grievances. And if these people, the public servants, don't understand that, they need to find another job. So this park looks pretty good, though. I'll give them credit for a nice park, but not for protecting illegal aliens over U.S. citizens. So I may wrap this report up now and do another one later. Review my notes here. Do some more reporting later. This is Jonathan Adler signing off for the U.S. Nationalist Report, California Info Warrior Report, and Info Warriors California. You're welcome to subscribe to all my channels and join my Facebook group. Thanks for watching.